Hi. In this episode, I'd like to talk a little bit about the integrative decision-making process, which is what Holacracy calls this process by which we make governance decisions. It basically spans all the way from when someone makes a proposal to clarifying questions, and then a reaction round, and then the objection round, integration, and then finally when the proposal is captured. That is all called the integrative decision-making process, and it kind of cycles through. I want to speak specifically about objections and something I've noticed as a coach, as a facilitator, and definitely also as a participant in that process. Now, in a lot of ways, the integrative decision-making process is one of the more intelligent processes I've seen to integrate different ideas and opinions and find a resolution in the middle. Much better, I think, than consensus decision-making or just kind of like lobbying politically for what you want or voting or any other thing. But it's definitely not without its faults, and definitely not without its pitfalls, so to speak. So one of the things I want to talk about is the affect of shame. Now, what I mean when I say affect psychologically, an affect is basically, it's almost a precursor to an emotion. It's before your mind places a story and experience about what you're feeling and be like, oh, this is sadness, or this is shame, or this is anger. Before that, there's a kind of just like a physical sensation, an impulse that happens internally. And shame is an affect that can happen. And shame is classified as what happens when a fluid or a state of flow or a pleasure of experience is interrupted. So, if you're speaking and you're kind of having a gregarious and happy conversation and someone shushes you real quick, that interruption causes the affect of shame. Now, unfortunately, objection rounds, and this is if you've experienced integrative decision-making process before, cause the affect of shame. Because you've thought about a proposal in your role, and as much as Holacracy tries to ask you to not take things personally, it's naive to assume that you won't take your own proposals personally. So part of us always does. It's our idea, it's our ideation, it's our vision, and it's our work. We care about it, and it is in some ways really personal. So when you come up with a proposal and you work it out and you get clarifying questions and you react and you clarify and you amend and clarify and you finally have this proposal that you really have a sense is going to resolve your tension, it becomes a really personal physical sensation of my tension's about to be resolved. I'm about to impact the organization in a way that's going to move us forward. And then somebody says, objection. It causes the affect of shame in you. That pleasurable experience of things are moving on causes, and it gets interrupted by someone, and it's very hard for us not to take it personally. So there's one thing about Holacracy asking us to not take things personally, and it's a very different thing in practice. I want to acknowledge that we do take things personally so that we can train ourselves to not take it as personally. So just recognize and understand that every time someone objects to your proposal, whether it's over email, the asynchronous proposal, or more so even in a meeting, it does cause the affect of shame. And our response to that might be different. You might feel deflated. You might feel okay, or you might feel really angry. You then might start stories about how that person's always objecting, that person's out to get me, that person's against me. All that is okay. Try as much as you can, again, to watch the habit pattern of your mind, watch your mind come up with the stories, trying to deal with this very difficult affect of shame. But the more you expand your ability, you strengthen your ability of dealing with the affect of shame, the less it will control you. And the more you can engage in an objection round and an integration round without locking horns with someone or making it personal or taking it personally that this is about you, because it isn't. An objection actually helps us as an organization avoid pitfalls, helps your proposal become even better than what it was if you allow it to be. You can come to a point where you actually celebrate objections. You're like, great, somebody cares enough about my proposal and cares enough about the work to object if they see it causing harm or setting us backwards, and we're going to find integration and move forward. This is where you're trying to get. But the first place of getting there is empathy and compassion with oneself and recognition that shame does come up when someone objects. I hope you found this helpful. Please feel free to reach out with any questions. Thank you.